I realized this morning I hadn't done any kind of update video after showing you the new chickens. And if you haven't had chickens before, neither have I. This is my first year. And I just kind of wanted to share with you some of the pains that you go through with chickens, things that you don't know until you do it, I guess. Let me get this off my chest right off the bat. I probably will not hatch eggs again. I think I'm going to stay away from the hatching of the eggs. I can't remember if it was 12, I don't know, 12 or 14, but I think it was a dozen eggs. A friend of mine that has chickens and roosters gave me the eggs, not with the intention of me hatching them, but I did anyway because I knew she had roosters. 7 out of those actually hatched. I thought our ratios were doing pretty good. Well, no, it turned out 5 were roosters. So I probably won't go that route again. My chickens are a little bit traumatized right now. Again, so first I gave away one rooster to a friend of mine, Shay, who has some land and has like 22 females, no rooster. That chicken's living the life. Well, I guess depends on how you look at it. He's got the life up there. And if you know me, I'm an animal lover through and through. I actually, most of the time, love animals more than people. So my chickens are my pets. So day before yesterday, we had to get rid of the other 3 because I'm not getting rid of Rocky. Rocky is my white one, was named by Duncan, one of my buddies that watch this channel, and Rocky just stuck. So we're not getting rid of Rocky. So I got rid of the other 3 to another good home. They have acreage out there. They're going to be free range chickens. I figured I would show you because right now I'm at that point where I'm trying to integrate the 2 flocks. And yeah, I mean, I watched a ton of videos on it and it turned out yesterday was actually a pretty good success. Which actually yesterday, one of the females gave me my very first egg. Pretty much 5 months, and that's something that you need to be conscious of when you decide that you're going to get into chickens, is it takes a long time before you're going to get any eggs. So just kind of remember that as a thought. I kept Rocky, and Rocky's my buddy. He's got a different personality. He sticks to me all the time, and he's very gentleman. He lets the females eat first usually. He lets them go up the stairs first. He's not aggressive at all, and I just think he'll be a good overall rooster. So then we went to Murdoch's, our big box store here, and got pullets. I probably won't do the egg hatching thing again. That's way too many roosters, and I don't want to see roosters that I raise get slaughtered. So call me a softie. They are my pets, regardless of if we eat chicken or not. I know it's weird. So I went to Murdoch's, my big box store, and got pullets. We ended up getting a dozen. They had 8 of the New Jersey or Jersey Giants, which are supposed to be one of the biggest roosters, and 4 of the Plymouth Barred Rock. So I've been raising those in a brooder in the garage for 6 weeks. Now it's time to figure out how to get them in. The flock's still a little bit traumatized because their 3 brothers got taken the day before yesterday. So I figure show you what we're doing here to integrate them. Yesterday was kind of a funny one. I'll tell that story in a minute. And then I'll show you what it takes to really take care of them. Out here's the raptor cage. So my son and I went through and we built a separate section here inside. So it's a 4-foot by 4-foot room. It was a planter box we built that I turned into a brooder. It's just temporary. Once they get integrated with the flock good, then we'll be taking this down. There's Rocky. Hi, buddy. That's Rocky. He's the man now. Yeah, you know it, don't you? Here's my female that just gave us our first egg. And over here's the other. So they're the 3 out of the existing flock. Then we got all these little guys down here. They're about 6 weeks old and they're doing really well. So yesterday we decided to transfer them out here. And we were going to put them inside here and let them get to know each other through the fence. Except I got the first one in, went to get the second one. It got away from me. It flew into the main run, went underneath the porch. That was it. I couldn't catch it. long story short, we ended up letting them all out into the run because Rocky is very gentle and the females have been very gentle. So now that we got rid of the other 3 roosters, they were not aggressive, but they were more aggressive than Rocky. We figured we wouldn't have much problem integrating the 2 flocks. Well, it went pretty good. I mean, we had a couple little spats where the big ones pecked at the little ones just to tell them, tell them what's up, tell them who's boss. But it wasn't bad. Luckily, there's no stairs that go into this brooder. So last night, once it got dark, of course, they were running around kind of panicked. The big ones went up the stairs behind me and into the chicken coop, and they didn't know what to do. So I used a flashlight. They followed the light across. I put it over in the corner. They all went to it. Then I put it in their new brooder, and they all went inside there, and I was able to close the door, and they were nice and safe. They laid down right away and were ready for bed. This morning I was trying to decide what to do, so I came out, I opened the gate, and was just gonna let them run right away with the big one since there was no issues yesterday. And there was a little more pecking, I think, just because it's feeding time. It's early in the morning, so we're gonna go ahead and feed them. I cut them their own salad. They have their own square foot gardens over here that I grow their food. So we're going to go over that, and we're going to feed them, and then we'll let them all out into the run. Something I like to do, if you haven't tried it, they really do enjoy if you just soak it. Now, I did try the fermenting of it. I watched some videos on that, and I'm just never quite sure if that works for me or not, but they did seem to like it. But what they really like is just to wet it down and let it soak up like cereal. And then you can just, I use this old screwdriver, just go through, mix it all up, let it soak up that water. And I definitely notice that they go through less water when they have their food wet like this. When it's really hot outside, now we got lucky, we dipped down, I think in the high 80s yesterday. We're supposed to be low 90s today, but we were well above 100. When you wet their food like this, absolutely, I saw a difference in their hydration. The way they acted was a lot different. They handled the heat a lot better. Now you saw I had a camo net. I put that over the whole thing for shade, so their entire run is shaded. Plus they can go underneath the coop. They have 8 foot by 8 foot that they can go under the coop, and it's completely shaded, and I have fans down there. One of the biggest differences I saw was when I started adding water to their morning food. It just gets their hydration level up and their water level up, and they seem to do a whole lot better on the hot days. If you have any question on if they like that wet food, they jump on it. Then we'll get the dish and I'll take you over, and it's time to cut the salad. They actually like the salad even more than they do the layer feed. I've really found that growing them and giving them as much fresh vegetable or leafy green that you can really cuts down on your bill with the layer feed. So these are the square foot gardens, and yes, admittedly, they look pretty fad. Things are bolting, and that's one of the main reasons that I decided to do this video. My original reason was we're going to show you what we're going to switch these into to keep feeding the chickens, but give us a little something too. These are the same square foot gardens that I showed you in my 12 inches to a better gardening video. They started out as we were going to have a big variety, and we did eat quite a bit off of here, but then we got hit with aphids and some other bugs came in. So these have turned into feeding the chickens, and it's, even though it's not my original design for them, that has worked out really well. And the chickens love about anything green out of here. That's a good way to put it, I think. We're running short on lettuce for them, which I kind of feel bad for that, but we're in that hot weather now where lettuce starts to bolt. We got lucky and this one didn't. But all I do to make it go quicker is take up a big old piece like this and stem and all just start cutting it into the bowl. The chickens absolutely love it. Now they like spinach, they like kale, they like Swiss chard, which is going to lead me to what we're going to put in here. See here? We got some earwigs in it. We may not like it, but the chickens will. Look, you guys know exactly what I have. Oh. Okay, let's go over here. Let's put it right here in the middle so everybody can get around it. So I built the chicks their own little 4x4 room in here to get them acclimated. and get the bigger chicks acclimated to the little ones. In the process of switching them, a couple got out yesterday. They were in the main run, and I mean, I've got an 8-foot by 8-foot that they can go under. I couldn't catch them. So we ended up letting them run out with the big chickens. And honestly, because we just had to get rid of the other 3 roosters, we only have Rocky as a rooster, things went really well. There wasn't anybody being bullied. Yeah, a couple times the big ones peck them to put them in their, to put them in their place, let them know who's boss. Last night, I was able to use a flashlight once it got dark and get them to follow the light into the little brooder, because the big ones automatically went upstairs and went inside the bed. So now I think, since we already had a full day yesterday of them integrated together, I'm just going to let them out during the day and see what happens. Now, don't hate me for it. I've seen people leaving comments on other videos where they talk about integrating them right away, but these 3 large chickens are very, very gentle, and I really don't think there's going to be an issue. And I'm going to be out here all day to watch them anyway. And I just got done feeding them separately, so I want to make sure they're full. The big ones are still over here eating lettuce or eating salad. I think that'll reduce any conflicts as well. But I truly do think Rocky, being as gentle as he is, he's a great rooster. So I really think they're going to integrate just fine. This one is a little bit, had a couple week problem with pasty butt, and I had to bring a little bit in every day and wash its vent. So a little bit is a little bit smaller, is where it gets its name. A little bit smaller than the rest of them. So now I won't make you watch, but 3 square-foot beds. This one's all ready. My spring onions are ready to come out. I've got beets and radishes back there ready to come out. I got to get ready to pull the rest of this and cut it up for the chickens. I do have a Swiss chard, some carrots that may or may not be ready. But I'm going to leave the kale in too. I'm going to pull the beets, I'm going to pull the radishes. So then I can put a plant right here in the middle. I'll keep the Swiss chard and I'll keep the kale. We'll see if the pepper we put in the middle is enough to shade the kale and keep it growing through the summer. I'll do all that, wrap it up, and we'll come back and check out the garden beds. I can see carrots on top. We'll see how ready they are. They're still little. We got little carrots. Beets are definitely not ready. I left these radishes in just to see what they would do. I honestly don't care much for radish, so I just decided I would let it grow for the pollinators, and it's worked really well. This was the bok choy. Bok choy is done for the season. The chickens do like to eat all this flowering foliage off of here, but the bok choy, even though it's done for the year, it gave me huge leaves and the chickens loved it. So early season, until it gets really hot, grow some bok choy. It was my first year doing it, and it was unbelievably prolific. It gave me a ton of bok choy, and the chickens ate it like crazy. 1 square out of a square-foot garden, a ton of the spring onions. People balk and say you can't do enough in a square-foot garden, but who couldn't use this for making stir fries and salads and all that good stuff? And even with my smell being as bad as it is, I can smell this. It's that pungent. Now we're switched over. I decided to do 2 of my big cherry tomatoes in the middle. The whole front row now is different kinds of Swiss chard. In the back we have kale, and in the back corner we have spinach. Hopefully the center cherry tomatoes grow up so big they shade them in the hot afternoon. Okay, I hope you enjoyed Meet the Cluckers Part 2. And remember, you don't have to be a prepper or be called a prepper to be prepared. You want to be prepared for anything. Having chickens, getting eggs, like I said, yesterday was my first egg, 5 months in. I'm Steve, aka The Chili Prepper, and we'll see you on the next one.